Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Review Series for the 30th of May, 1992. This will be a shorter than normal show here, as we have, in fact, some degree of, I guess you'd say, a review show, which I'm not a fan of these, in all honesty. I think it's a waste of television time. If you have an engrossed fan base in your product, then you should not need to waste a whole program on highlight packages and all that. I think it's lazy booking, and I'm surprised that it happened all the way back in 1992. I know a lot of people do it. I get why it's become the norm in professional wrestling, but at the same time, I just think if you have an engrossed fan base, you know, a 2 or 3 minute highlight package is fine. Half a program, you're paying for television time with things that people have already seen. Speaking of that, the majority of the program is a highlight series from the benefit of the Volunteer Slam and the tournament or the pre-tournament matches leading up to the Volunteer Slam. There is a couple of first run segments on the program, but that's not the majority of the content here. So if you are interested in the majority of the content here, worth going out of your way to check out the nature that is the benefit of our Volunteer Slam review, because like literally most of this show is Volunteer Slam hype and all of that. Post-match promo with Paul Orndorff, who's saying that he was in fact cheated and that it's unfair the way he was treated. More highlights from the Volunteer Slam leading to the eventual crowning of the first champion, otherwise known as the Primetime Brian Lee, which, again, then we see highlights, more highlights. This time highlights of last week's Battle Royal, and eventually that leads to a challenge match for Buddy Landel and Tim Horner, after Landel steals the $5,000, winning the Battle Royal. Obviously, Landel makes his way out, and he is forced to defend the $5,000 check because he cheated to win it. I mean, it's simple booking, basic booking, nothing too terribly hard to write home about. Landel cheats, punch kick, gets his man down. We'll give Tim Horner credit for his many stories, as I've heard about him being a complete goofball. His selling here is pretty phenomenal. He's chomping away like a cow chewing a cud at the idea of Buddy Landel kicking him upside the head a couple of times. Landel sets him back and out with some chops, and stays pretty aggressive, assertive there. Shots along to the top of the head, and kind of tries to get the modified takedown. Landel works over the arm. Fans are into hating Landel more than liking Horner, I think. So Horner gets the babyface rub by default, really. Landel with a short clothesline then lays on Horner. Tries to get a lazy pin. Tries to choke him out. Tries to get everything he can. But takes him down into the canvas, and eventually Landel uses every weapon he possibly can, taking Horner down, and goes to the outside of the ring, stomps on him a little bit, steps back in, tries to continue the fight, but obviously, and in the process of the brawl on the outside, Tim Horner gets busted open. Little more blood than modern day territories would give, but I think that's a little bit better than having completely sanitized pro wrestling, don't you? Anyway, so anyhow, body slams and the like by Horner. Horner goes for that kind of running elevated corkscrew elbow, and it looks as though he's going to get victories right at the final behest of things. Actually hits 2 elbows in a row before trying to cut things off, and tears up the check for the $5,000 so that Horner can't get it, and tries to force the check down his throat into his mouth, and the babyfaces run in to make a save on a barely conscious Tim Horner. And that will close this particular program. We'll be back with more right after this.